Mira Business FM. The sound of success.
Mira Business FM, The Morning Drive. I'm Tim Elliott. Good morning to you. Behind something as simple as a daily coffee, there are business challenges. Single-use cups, rising labour costs, growing pressure to be more sustainable is omnipresent. Now today, a solution that could change how high-volume beverage outlets, petrol stations, supermarkets, places like that, can serve drinks without the waste. Now, PackBack is pioneering smart, automated reusable cup systems that work just as fast as disposables. Apparently better for margins, and also they're good for reducing environmental impact. Now, joining us is Nida Akhther, who is the Managing Director for the GCC at PackBack, and she's focused on making reuse commercially viable at scale. I think that's the long and short of it. Nida, good to have you on the program.
Yes, thank you for having me. Yes.
Look, it's often thought that sustainability kind of slows things down when it's high volume in beverage terms. Why has reuse traditionally been so hard to put into place?
Yeah, so most reuse systems were designed for good intentions. They were not designed for real operations. So historically, then reuse would fail for three reasons, essentially: friction at the counter, reliance on staff behavior, and then no actual reliable way to get the cups back. So it's high volume environments, like you've mentioned, anything that adds seconds or any training or manual handling simply doesn't scale. So sustainability didn't fail. It was infrastructure at the time that did.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're championing here. How is grabbing a morning coffee different your way?
So it's not. Everything we do it looks invisible. So essentially, a smart reuse infrastructure means that the system works in the background while the customers and the staff, they follow their normal routines. So the cups are essentially dispensed automatically, returns are automated, the incentives are digital, just as everybody's already accustomed to, and everything is tracked in real time. There's no behavior change required, and that's essentially it's just having a better system doing exactly what the work disposable used to do, but now it's trackable. So now there's a lot more workarounds with that data.
Okay, so if I drive up to the petrol station and your equipment, your dispensers, however you term them, are there, what does it look like for me when I walk in? There's really very little change in is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So it's an additive. It's not an invasive. So all essentially happens is you'll order your coffee.
Right.
You'll now, instead of receiving it in a disposable cup, you'll receive it in a reusable cup. And now this allows you to take your coffee and enjoy it, and you can continue for that drive that you're on, or you can stay there and and get through the different tasks that you were going to do there. Once your coffee is complete, you can return it at any one of the return infrastructures. And now what that's done is it's allowed you time to return it and enjoy your coffee, and it allows for the returns to be tracked. And for with the tracking now, the cups, we know where you've picked them up from, where they will need to be returned on the back end in the operations.
I see. Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily have to return it to the petrol station that I was at. It's just whenever I'm next, whenever I next stop, or if I'm a traveling salesman, I fill up with petrol 10 times a week. I could drop my cup at a different dispenser. What is it? A smart dispenser, I think it's called.
The smart bin.
Smart bin. Okay, so I can just put my cup back in there, and that accounts for where I took it from, and it's digitally tracked, and I'm credited in some way for that.
Exactly. So
Okay.
we work with loyalty, we work with deposits, charity. We work with such a range of incentive systems, and really it's like a plug and play for us. So we can integrate into existing loyalty systems, existing deposit systems. So it's a it doesn't add another app to your phone. It doesn't add another task to your daily to-dos.
Okay, so is this something that integrates with other, existing coffee machines, existing point of sale systems?
Yeah, yeah. So it does. It absolutely. It's very the way it works is it sits along the aside the POS systems,
Hmm.
and has a very lightweight integration. So there is no reconfiguration that's taking place with any of the POS systems. There's no retraining of the baristas essentially because it's you're continuing your operations as is, and it actually speeds up the surface instead of slowing it down as it has historically. And then they can just, instead of serving a disposable, they can now serve a reusable at
Well,
the same speed.
I guess for most people, the quicker you get your coffee in the morning, the better, so that you get the kickstart that you need. So that's a bonus. The challenge, and I mean, I'm thinking probably what a lot of people would be thinking about this. The big thing with reuse is getting cups returned. So you said you have smart bins. So that automates the process. So I literally just kind of chuck the cup in the bin. You don't have to have staff around that. It's as simple as that, is it?
It is. It really is a drop and go. Yeah.
Okay. All right then. So very straightforward. Sounds good to me. From a business perspective, where do operators see the biggest financial wins? Where are the cost savings? Is it labor reduction? Does it mean, you could probably improve your margin slightly?
Yeah, so I would say all of the above that you just mentioned. So
Right.
because it's trackable, you can track such a varied amount of information. You're able to see when you're the busiest. So yes, you can of course now really concretely schedule your staff. So you're able to fix your schedules to be very specific to your traffic flows.
Hmm.
You're able to also reduce any need of additional staff. You reduce your waste costs drastically because, of course, now you've taken such a large amount of kgs that are going directly into your waste and put them into the circular economy. Um, and of course, you're investing in an asset, right? So reusables are no longer a waste cost as the disposables were. They're an asset. You're essentially purchasing a product, and with that being an asset, of course, like any asset, there's a lot of opportunity.
Okay, so Nida, what about? I mean, there is a cost in cleaning, isn't there? Though, because I mean, the smart bins will need to be cleaned, I guess, and obviously the reusable cups will need to be cleaned.
Yeah, so the smart bins don't need any significant cleaning. There is occasional maintenance that is required, but the bins can and are made for to be able to handle the coffee and beverages and food packaging as well.
Okay.
So they are not so much of it, and the cleaning on the back end that's taking place for the cups that we're talking about, that's marginal cost compared to what your waste cost is. So there is a little bit of transfer taking place, but then there's also cost savings taking place.
Okay, so what about the consumer behavior? Because there has to be a motivation, doesn't there? And I guess an awareness in the first instance until people get used to the system. You have to get people to actually return the cups because I mean, I'm as guilty as anybody of thinking, just, throw things away, unfortunately, much as I'm trying not to. That's kind of human behavior.
Yeah. So it's about clarity and about rewarding. So people can return cups. The system needs to be very obvious. It needs to be convenient, and there needs to be immediate feedback. And then of course whether that's a refund or a reward or some sort of visible impact metric that really supports their incentives and their motivations. The key needs to be there has to be some instant value
Mm.
when somebody is going to return a cup. It needs to feel easy. It needs to feel as normal as throwing one away. So the behavior changes, but the changes is actually very minimal in that way where your personal habit won't really change. You'll still be going to dispose a cup. You're just going to dispose it in somewhere different.
Okay, so there's a sense, isn't there, I suppose, with systems like this that, your morning coffee is a habitual thing. It's something that you do usually at a specific time and the behavior that surrounds that. If you can adapt that behavior that surrounds that, what you do with the cup, and get people to be a little bit more thoughtful, perhaps, and you incentivize them with, I don't know, your 10th cup of coffee is free, whatever it is that you're going to do, you can actually impact behavior in a really positive way.
Absolutely. Yes. Agreed. I mean, the fact that the smart system allows so many customizations to occur. So you can incentivize them with even just a loyalty program that they are dedicated to, and build on that for their experience. So the experience is actually just elevated.
This is am I right in saying this is a system that is initiated in Dutch? It's a Dutch company, is that right?
It is, yes.
It is,
We are
okay.
based out of the Netherlands. Most of
In
our
the Netherlands,
production
okay.
happens out of the Netherlands, but we operate across all of EU.
Okay, and how's it been received? I mean, in the Netherlands, my guess would be this would be received with some enthusiasm. There's a real enthusiasm, a mentality almost for recycling, reuse, the circular economy in particular. How's it been received? What's the feedback, the initial feedback there?
So I believe it was extremely easy to create education and, like we said, that user behavior and the change that needed to happen was very easy, and like you said, it was a welcome change for most very large businesses. Very large QSRs wanted to adapt into this, and everybody's thinking future forward. So this was a move that they wanted to make, and how they could make it was only when there was infrastructure that would not affect their day-to-day operations.
Okay, you're leading the expansion PackBack across the GCC. What is it about this region, do you think, that suits the system, this kind of direction of smart reuse systems at the moment?
So GCC builds at scale and plans ahead. So that's a great thing already. We have high volume venues, we have centralized operators, ambitious sustainability targets, and a willingness to invest in the infrastructure rather than get temporary fixes in place. So as regulations around single use tighten, operators here will be looking for systems, not stopgaps. And that's exactly where the system will fit.
Okay, and they can integrate it into their existing systems. This is not just coffee cups, is it? This is also, I don't know, plates at fast food joints, this kind of thing. There's a bit more to it. It's not just your morning coffee.
Exactly. It's reusable beverage and food packaging. So there's just such a big range there, and to be able to turn over, let's say, all the large operators into reuse, the impact that we could have here with the infrastructure and the support would be it would be a drastic change in the numbers.
It's going to be popular, surely, because I'm just, I have a handle on what it is now. I wasn't sure when I first read the notes yesterday. I was trying to get a handle on what it is so I can see how it works. But I'm also thinking, I can see this in, fast food joints. You could name any one of many, many different names that it would work, and it would sit and it would fit really well. And I can see, kids, telling their parents to make sure that they, use the smart bin after they've had their, chicken nuggets or whatever it is. You can see where this could really fit in very well.
I mean, this is what you have just drawn out as a picture is exactly the picture
Right.
that is actively taking place in the Netherlands right now across fast food chains, very large Burger King franchises, and etc. So that is the image. The kids are absolutely ecstatic about wanting to interact with the machine. The parents are curious. Students are eager to participate. It really is something that is driving a lot of interest.
Okay. And one of the things here, I guess, in this region, very often you see people often don't put their refuse away in the bin after and leave it on the table. So hopefully it makes it easier for people that work. Or we start to get the message through that, you have to take responsibility for it. That's a personal aside. I apologize. Let's look ahead. How do you see beverage service and the integration of your system evolving over the next 5 years? What kind of role will automated reuse play in the future? How do you see it developing?
So automated reuse will become the standard, just like contactless payment is right now. So green will not be an option. It'll just be how modern the beverage service will work. But this can only happen when, again, like the infrastructure needs to be robust enough to handle all the high volume spaces in the manner that they operate right now. So with our smart reuse system, we're able to just plug and play the existing operation style across the high volume spaces. We're able to fully automate them, which allows for their business operations on the back end to again adapt for great for great revenue restructuring.
Hmm.
They're able to do data-driven beverage ecosystems and packaging decisions, and then of course compliance becomes not even a forethought.
When are we going to start seeing the systems in place here in the Emirates, across the GCC? Where does it all begin? Have you started already?
Yeah, so we had a very successful pilot take place at the Dubai World Trade Center this past week over the course of the World of Coffee event.
Okay.
So we were very excited about that, and we do have some things in the works, and we're going to be excited to announce them very soon.
All right, we're going to need to check back in with you. For now, Nida Akhther is the Managing Director for the GCC for PackBack. Perhaps how we're going to be reusing coffee cups here in the UAE in the future. Nida, good to talk to you. Appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Have a great afternoon.
It's Mira Business FM. It's the morning drive. Get in touch with the show. Tell us what you think across social media. A like, a subscribe. That's always appreciated. And remember, everything that we do, you can watch, listen to again. The website, YouTube, lots of other platforms as well, Rumble, Twitch, etc. And also wherever you get your podcasts. Just look for Mira Business FM.